Hey, let's go and finish. This is part 3 of general polynomial multiplication. Get this out of the way. Don't start with me, Missy. All right, to multiply polynomials in general, you're going to use the distributive property to multiply each term in the first polynomial by each term in the second polynomial. If one of the polynomials is a monomial, which means one term, you're simply going to distribute that monomial to each term of the other polynomial. I'll show you. You can also use FOIL, which was taught in school a while back, first, outer, inner, last, if there's only two binomials. Many people like the box method. That works for any size polynomial. My favorite one by far is the distributive one. I find that folks, even the ones using FOIL or box method, to me, the distributive always works the best. And I'm going to show you a couple of them. I'll show you the distributive as well as the FOIL. You can use any of the ones that you want. They all work fine. I mean, there's just a chance of messing up on one as there is the other. There are some special forms I want you to understand. If you've got one term that's exactly the same, if you've got binomials that are exactly the same, except for one's positive and one's negative, well, that means that it's just the first term squared minus the second term squared. That's what that means. If you have two terms added and squared, that's just the a plus b times a plus b. And this is how you can do it. You square the first, multiply them together and double it, and square the last. I use this all the time. I love that. Instead of multiplying out and doing distributive or FOIL, it's just a really sweet one to do. You do it the same way for both of these. You square the first, multiply them together and double it, and square the last. And I'm going to write that for you whenever, and I will be doing that one as well. Square the first. That's the first part. Multiply them together. They're both exactly the same. Multiply them together and double. That means multiply times 2. So once you multiply these two together, you have to multiply them times 2. So 2 times whatever these two are together and double it is how I say it. I always say multiply together and double it. This is how I learned it back in the day. And then square the last. Those are my steps for these two here. It's the same thing. It's just this is written out for you. All right, multiply and simplify. So this one, all we can do is distribute. We're going to multiply x times x minus 7. So x times x and x times negative 7. So x times x and then plus x times negative 7. X times x is x squared. And then x times negative 7 is negative 7x. All right. Again, distribute, distribute. And I'm writing in the steps for you. 5x squared times x plus 5x squared times 6. 5 times 1 is 5. X to the 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 5 times 6 is 30. And you bring down that x squared. All right. Dog hair everywhere. 4y squared times 5y squared, we're just distributing, 4 plus 4y squared times negative 6y, I'm running out of space here, plus 4y squared times 3. 4 times 5 is 20. Y squared times y squared is y to the 2 plus 2, which is y to the 4th. Positive 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. Y squared times y to the 1 is y to the 2 plus 1, which is y cubed. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring down your y squared. All right, distribute to all 3. I'm going to come over here and do this. Negative 6x cubed times 3x squared, and then negative 6x cubed times negative 2x, and then negative 6x cubed times negative 7. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. X to the 3 plus 2 is 5. Negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12. X to the 3 plus 1 is 4. Negative 6 times negative 7 is positive 42. And then bring down that x cubed. We can't combine any like terms here. If we could, these would have already been combined. All right, 9xy times 5x plus 9xy times 2y. 9 times 5 is 45. X squared y. 9 times 2 is 18. So plus x y squared. All right. For these next ones, I'm going to show you a couple different things. The first one I'm going to show you is the distributive property. I'll do each of them a little bit differently so you can see all three different ways. If you like one that I'm doing, or if you already know one that you're comfortable with, just do that. If you already know one, you don't have to do it a specific way for me. I will follow whatever logic you put down on your paper. All right, so the first one I'm going to do is distributive property. It's where you take the 2x times this whole binomial plus 5 times the whole binomial again. Distribute 2x times x is 2x squared, 1 plus 1, plus 2 times 3 is 6x. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 3 is 15. Combine like terms. 2x squared, 6x and 5x is 11x, plus 15. That's distributive property. The next one I'm going to show you is FOIL. It's a little bit harder to show, but once you get it, it's fine. So FOIL is first. So looking at the binomials, first, outer, inner, and last. So the first two terms are multiplied together. So FOIL F, 4y times 7y. I'm going to do this. Plus the outer is 4y times negative 4, plus the inner is negative 5 times 7y, and then the last plus negative 5 times negative 4. All right, that's how that works. 4 times 7 is 28, y squared. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16y. Negative times positive, oh, these are both negative. Nope, it's positive. Negative times the positive is negative 35y. And then negative times the negative is positive 20. Combine like terms. 28y squared minus, when the signs are the same, you add and keep the sign. 6, 11, 3, 4, 51y plus 20. All right, and then at this point, I want you to pause the video and go attempt this one in whichever method that you preferred. I find that the distributive method is cleaner, but my entire life I've used FOIL. So in my old age, I've wanted it cleaner. So I'm going to do the distributive. You do box, FOIL, whatever you want. All right, 8x cubed times x squared minus 5 plus 3 times x squared minus 5. 8 times 1 is 8. X to the 3 plus 2, which is 5. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. Bring down that x cubed. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. Positive times a negative is negative 15. Combine, nope, there's no combining like terms, is there? I think that's it. Sweet. Okay, here's a bunch. Gonna get plenty of practice here, but this is great. This is great. So maybe do one at a time. Go do one, come back and see how you did. If you feel confident, do as many as you want, but make sure you come back and see that you got the same answer as me. Okay. Please pause the video. All right, until you get stuck on one. So again, I'm going to do the distributive. Please feel free to do any one you want. So x times this parenthesis minus 3y, which is this guy here, times the same parenthesis, same binomial. Now we distribute. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times 7y is 7xy. It could be yx too. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. I just like to put my variables in order alphabetically. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. We've got xy again. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21 y squared. Combine like terms. 7 minus 6 is 1, so xy minus 21y squared. Now, we cannot use FOIL method here. You can use distributive method. You can use box method. You cannot use FOIL. Okay. So x times x squared plus x plus 5 plus 2 times x squared plus x plus 5. So distribute the x over the trinomial. So x to the 1 plus 2 is 3, plus x to the 1 plus 1 is 2, plus x times 5 is 5x, 2x squared, 2x, and 10, combining like terms. There's only one x cubed. We've got 2x squares, we've got 5x and 2x, and that's it. So plus 3x squared plus 7x plus 10. Same thing for this one. You can only use the distributive or the box method. So y times 3y cubed plus 2y squared plus y plus 4. Bring down the plus 3. And then the same thing. 3y cubed plus 2y plus y plus 4. Boy, if I wrote that for, yeah, I'm glad this can be foiled. That would be nasty. So 3y to the 4th, this is a y to the 1, plus 2y cubed plus y squared plus 4y. Now I need to distribute my 3, plus 9y cubed plus 6y plus 3y. Wait. This is a squared. 3y plus 12. There we go. Combining like terms. Y to the 4th, there's only 1. Okay. So 3y to the 4th. There's a cube, there's a cubed, there's a square. And then there's 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so y cubes are 9, 10, 11. Y squared are 8. Y's, there's 7. And bring down that 12. Again, you can only use distributive or box method. So x squared times the trinomial. And then plus 2 times the trinomial. Distribute. 2 plus 4 is 6. Don't forget your y. 2 plus 2 is 4. X squared times 1 is just x squared. 2 x to the 4th y. 2x squared plus 2. All right, combine like terms. There's only one x to the 6th. We can combine these. I think that's it. 3x squared. Bring everything else down. All right. Okay. Now we have something different. This is called the difference of two squares. There's no such thing as the sum of two squares. It doesn't factor. But let's pretend like you don't know what factor is. And some of you may not. That's okay. We'll discuss that later. But this is going to give us a plus b, a minus b will give us a squared minus b squared when they're exactly the same, but one's positive and one's negative. You square the first minus square the last. That is the trick for this. Okay. You could also FOIL, box, or distribute, and you'll get the same exact thing. So square the first, so x squared. Square the last. 3 times 3 is 9. And it always has to be a negative. I'll show you the distribution just to show you. X squared minus 3x plus 3x minus 9. Gone. X squared minus 9. Okay. This will save you time. And it's also something you're going to want to know when we get a little bit further down the road in this class, as well as when you get to your next class. This is muy importante to understand this concept, because you're going to be going backwards a lot for factoring. All right. The next one, same thing. Square the first. So x to the 12th squared. Because the signs are different, you're going to put minus and then square the last. So x to the 12 times 2 is x to the 24. Remember, power raised to a power is multiplied minus the last term, 5 squared is 25. All right. Now we've got a binomial squared. We've got a couple different things we can do here. All right, this is the one that I like to do: square the first, multiply them together and double it, and then square the last. Or you could do this. You could go x plus 6 times x plus 6 and just multiply them how you normally do: distribution, box, or FOIL. Your choice. So I'm going to go ahead and do distribution. X times x plus 6 plus 6 times x plus 6 is x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 36 is x squared plus 12x plus 36. Now, let me show you what I like to do. Again, it's not required. It's just another tool. That's all it is. It's your choice on whether or not you use it. So mine was, you square the first, you multiply them together and double it, and then you square the last. So square the first, multiply them together and double it, square the last. I don't usually write it out. I usually think it as I do it. X squared, multiply them together is 6x, double is 12x, square the last is 36. However you want to do it. Same thing for this one. Pause the video. Feel free to do it either method, and then come back to see how you did for both of these. Actually, you can do all three. They're all done the same way. So you can either do 5x plus 2 times 5x plus 2, or you can square the first. 5 squared is 25, x squared. Multiply these two together. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 2 is, because doubling it, 20. And then square the last. All right. When you did your FOIL distribution, whatever, you would combine the like terms of 10x plus 10x. That's going to get you your 20x. Same thing for this one. Feel free to do x minus 3 times x minus 3. This is not the same thing as this. Be careful. This is x minus 3 squared. It is the difference of two squares, but I mean, it's not the difference of two squares. It's the difference squared. It's not the same thing. So you can use your FOIL distribution or box, and then I'm going to do x squared. Multiply them together is negative 3x, doubling it is negative 6x, and then square the last is plus 9. You should get the same answer with whatever method you choose. And then the last one, again, you can write it as 2x minus 5y times 2x minus 5y. Use whatever method you choose. I'm going to go through and do 2x squared, which is 4x squared. Multiply them together is negative 10xy. Doubling it is negative 20xy. And then squaring the left, negative 5 squared is positive 25y squared. And that's it for the polynomials. We'll see you in the next one.